Yo, I wanted to do a blog on after I saw Aquaman, not really about Aquaman, and I don't even know if I have time because I'm on my way to a pre-Kwanzaa holiday marketplace. It's gonna be real dope. You'll see the pictures on Facebook or what and Instagram. But anyway, after watching Aquaman, it did have a lot of similarities to Black Panther, but in the story arc, in the story element, but it was like it was switched, and it was switched based on it's easier to say European values, but European methodology, European thinking, and without giving away the storylines, just some of the, the story, just some of the ways the brothers behaved, and not really brothers, because Killmonger and Black Panther weren't brothers, but they were cousins. But some of the way that they behaved, the way the people in Atlantis behaved, as comparison to the way people in Wakanda behaved, very different. And maybe, after New Year's, after Aquaman makes his money, we'll talk probably to that specifically. But I wanted to do a little talking about African storylines. That just made me think of it, the Aquaman and the Black Panther storyline contrast, how they compare to each other. But really I'm going to talk about African storylines, because I just thought of a great storyline for the third book in my Harlem Shake series. Now, mind you, the whole thing is outlined. I wouldn't say that I thought of a new storyline, because I already had the storyline, but I'm thinking of a new a component element to it, a clarifying motivation to it. And we just see there's so many different things. Like, I have a catastrophe story. It's a story where somebody develops something, and the environment that they develop it in is destroyed. So that's the basic thing that I need to do. How does that destroy itself? I was thinking, well, as an African American, I think of a lot of American, European storylines. I could have a jealous brother, right? Want to take down the leader of this new environment, right? I can have that. I can have the person be real corrupt themselves, and it just be logical that they produce an undercurrent of people that want to take down this leader. I could have a rival group sending a spy in to take down, like Jurassic Park, the heavyset guy. I was really close to doing something like that, but now I was like, dang, not that it's Jurassic Park, but because of other things that I don't necessarily like about it. What's another line? Another way that I could have them, I could have the monster rise up, like in Frankenstein, that this person wasn't as, genius as they thought, and there's a flaw in their design. I could do it like Contact, the movie Contact, where some divine entity inspires somebody in the wrong way to destroy the development, whatever it is. Star Trek has had a variety of those things. Then I was like, those are very Western tropes, because something has to, not necessarily has to go wrong, but there's something devious in it. There's a bad person, and that to me is very Western. Then I start thinking, okay, opposed to that, I don't know really many Native American stories, and maybe I have to start reading some to really contrast my my African storylines with some Native American storylines. But I know, and I don't even know a lot of African storylines, but I'm just thinking of them very much like Ryan Coogler and the writers of Black Panther did, to come up with a way to embrace Killmonger. He was embraced. They didn't hate on him. They was like, damn, we ain't know about him, but if he is what it is, we have to give him a chance. There were some people that, you know, went against him, but for the most part, they honor tradition. You know what I'm saying? Even up until he was about to kill Black Panther, you know, and he ended up killing, what do you call it? What's his name? Forrest Whitaker. I don't know his name in Black Panther, but ended up killing Forrest Whitaker's character, and that was a loss. But part of my great mentor, James Small, Dr. Small's beef with Black Panther is that it does include a lot of Western tropes. You know, when we say Western tropes, we're looking at, you know, storylines taken from European history, things that Greeks have done, things that English and French and Spanish, Nordish history, and things like that. You know, things that make Game of Thrones great. But, you know, and really those things are used because of the drama, the Shakespearean drama of betrayal and sinisterness. We don't, you know, drama is what pushes your storyline, you know, and a lot of people don't know that, you know, or a lot of writers don't think past some of those storylines, and they rely on them to push their stories, or they just use them. They're like samples, like clip art. You know, you read the various storylines, they don't try to think of something new. So what they did in Black Panther was they thought of something new. Now, mind you, it may be similar to some of the other stories in say European history, or just American cinema, which sometimes comes up with really unique ideas. But for the most part, it was more of an African storyline with a little twist. Now, what I'm thinking is an African storyline, and you're free to brainstorm with me, but an African storyline might be something like you know, the two brothers betrayal. And mind you, I believe their storylines get repetitive too. You know what I'm saying? So don't get it twisted. I do believe that their storylines get repetitive, or not get repetitive, aren't so undeniably original. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful whenever you are thinking of a story. Your setting can make your storyline or your story unique. It's set in the future. It's set in the past. It's set, you know, aboard a ship. It's set underwater. Whatever it is, in a futuristic world, right? That can set your storyline apart. But the other thing is, you know, so you want to be careful with that. But I was thinking, you know, brother betrayal. What are some of the other things that have brought African empires down? Those are the storylines that I'm thinking. And when, you know, this is my brother from South Africa, Vernon, you know, who writes about, you know, how we have to start thinking different, and thinking more African in our storylines, or just in our science fiction in general. These are some of the things that he's thinking of, or these are some of the things that it can manifest in. It can manifest in a African, hell, and, you know, Nolly world, cheesy soap opera storyline. Modern, somebody who's competing wants to leave their old tradition and become modernized, and that goes wrong. See, you almost think reverse of Coming to America, reverse of Crazy Rich Asians, where tradition is right, but people get poisoned by the outside. Think Crouching Tiger, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. You know, somebody betrays somebody and they go off and they do something wrong, and that person gets jaded. Kung Fu movies have some really good non-Western storylines. So some of those things I'm thinking, and again, just there are characteristics of storylines from different cultures. Okay, every culture don't have the same body or collective of storylines. You killed my uncle, you killed my grandfather, you killed my teacher. That's Kung Fu movie storylines, seeking revenge. And then when they get there, sometimes on that journey, they learn to forgive and forget, but the person that killed them is so jaded that they got to kill him anyway. You understand? They're just like, I don't want to kill you. I understand your problem. Why don't you try to resolve it, like in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon? So that's their repeated storyline. So they get very repetitious too. We just haven't seen a lot of African stories out here on the big screen, and we don't read a lot of African books. So African Americans, it's a pool for us. Black sci-fi writers, that's a pool for us, and we shouldn't be afraid of it. So anyway, stories, as long as our stories are interesting and we got new Kung Fu moves, we can say, yo, kill our teacher and I'll come and get you. All right, so that's it. But I want to specifically zero in on Aquaman at a later time because of his comparison to Black Panther. All right, peace. Talk to you later.